So, a 53-year-old woman is burglarized, beaten and raped. That is a no-go. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined and make them into one. Make them into 1, 2, or 3, however you choose with that. But yes, before I get into that, that's the victim right there. Anybody notice I went missing? I went into hiding. I guess maybe it's hiding season. Maybe because it's the wintertime. I don't know. But when it's a lot going on, you know, stuff gets bombarded. It ain't like I just disappeared and left y'all hanging. I needed to say that. That needed to be said. To start something is to keep it. It's always to be kept rolling in motion. You just don't start something and then walk away because it be tied with even, yes, discovery is to say, well, I'm strong and string. Something like that, an attachment. But yeah, so let me read from paper because that makes it even more neat and gifted. Helps to keep your thoughts in line. So, a Chicago, Illinois woman was kidnapped, raped, and set on fire. 3 years after what has in fact taken place. To face someone, that gentleman, hopefully the photo come back up. After 3 years, she's facing him, the individual that committed the crime. He was given a sentence of life behind bars, and he should have. 53-year-old Diane Pranks, the victim, was burglarized on September 17th, 2015 by Carlius Clay, age 30, the black individual, the male in the photo that's going to roll back around. Victimized by him, age 30. He's been known to be a multiple convicted criminal. All of this occurred within the home of Pranks while she was at work. She came home with groceries, but before she did, Clay, the criminal, had stolen panties. That man stole her panties and her bras and several electronics. Forcefully, Clay made Pranks, he made her, in fact, get into a car. I don't understand. That's why I be stopping and pausing, and I can't talk all the way through because as I'm saying this and all, I'm able to see it visually. The way. So he forced her to get into a car. He made her get into the trunk of her own car with a hammer. Beating process with that. Clay proceeded to stop at a few ATM machines. He made withdrawals from the account of hers. He that's doing too much. He made accounts, the withdrawals from her accounts, which was in fact picked up on surveillance camera. After leaving the ATMs, Clay took Pranks to a shabby building, in Burn Arbors, Indiana. Then he raped her, beat her, and choked her until she passed out. That makes other grown men and other male figures look bad, let me tell you, as in why some women, in fact, have a fear of other men who are innocent walking around. People that haven't even been raped hear stories like this and frown upon other grown men as in not to know what to think of them or how to even take them. That's why you shouldn't commit crimes in this mean manner, because it paints other men badly. So while Pranks was knocked out, Clay poured lighter fluid all over her body and set her on fire and then quickly drove off in her car. The using process of his mindset, I'm saying, using her up in all type of ways with even that. It's sadic behavior. To be a sadist or something, and yet police, law enforcement didn't say, even a psychologist didn't say, and yet I'm able to see that individual has deep-rooted issues or something somewhere. Because to be doing all that and then setting the person on fire is to say you're fully victimized. When you see how her body has turned out, the ending results, right? Why would that sort of thing need to happen? childhood issues, maybe. So Pranks regained consciousness after all this ordeal, even after being, yes, set on fire, right? She made her way outside, in which was captured by surveillance video. The surveillance video, in fact, picked her up, being seen coming out. That's him. The video showed her fanning as well as slapping her body as it was, yes, flames and all the rest. Which more likely was the very thing that woke her up, because to be that heated and hot is to say, well, she could have been scalded for life, as in into death. As in, I'm thinking that woman should have in fact died, and yet she didn't. Something have had to wake her up, more likely the heating process of that. 3rd degree burns and worse, right? So yes, the video picked her up, slapping and trying to put out the flames on her body, and then she walked to a nearby McDonald's for help. Clay, that individual, criminal, crook, whatever, with his mindset mentality, he was arrested 3 days later after police confiscated, yes, I say confiscated, which is a big word, but police in fact got the ATM cameras. He confessed to the crime, as his DNA sample was a match, which was found at the crime scene. I don't have any words with that sort of thing, as I'm not on the witness stand, and yet I should be, with even saying, possibly telling even him off, because he make other black men look, and I said males, but more so blacks, and even black females that dress funky in characterization like my own self, he make even us look bad. Tomboys, black tomboys, or whatever else, right? Anything that looks masculine in mind, people would in fact fear, like, because of people, criminals like him. So Clay did not know Pranks. He didn't know this woman from Adam, Eve, or whatever else, right? He didn't know her. He just took advantage of her in a worse way. The brutalization of that. He was on parole during the time all occurred and lived nearby in a church-sponsored facility for ex-offenders. Prank survived. She in fact survived. I'm sorry, because I'm trying to make sure I didn't say his name in place of hers, right? But yeah, she survived 3rd degree burns, as I stated, in which covered 1/3 of her body. She's now legally blind and has to use a wheelchair, and she's confined by that. She also had to learn how to talk on her own all over again. That's worse in itself, the sadness. On a daily, she also is cared for by a companion who retired out of his job to take care of her. The man that did all this apologized in court over his actions towards her. And then you got the Judge Virginia Kendo, was the one that sentenced him to life. Why apologize now? Why not just keep your hands off of somebody to begin with? What is the point of that? So Judge Kendo gave Clay an extra 10 years over separate cases of his, in which, involved, I just said that. So a caseworker. He held a caseworker. That too is why his time has been not legalized. And in fact, it is, right? That's a play on words, right? Yeah, it's not soft-spoken. But he had a separate case situation where he held a caseworker hostage inside of a metropolitan correctional facility. That man is all over the place. So maybe he needs to in fact serve time, life, and all the rest. As in be stillborn with that, as in die off slowly. And I said it. Discovery sent me with that. So Diane Pranks stated outside of the courtroom she was very happy and overjoyed with the life sentence placed on him. She also stated that she let go of her anger and can move forward, and knowing that he's serving the sentence in which he has in fact, achieved in the criminality realm, right? She also stated she feels the world is much more safer without such evil losers or monsters on the street. I can agree to that. Doesn't lock them away and drop the key off. be dismantled with that sort of thing, right? There ain't no love in my heart for individuals that do that type of thing. As in psychology, you might in fact want to go get some help, as in seek some. Because if he wasn't found, there would be multiple victims with that. You don't even know. Possibly stab wounds or something, because they carry hammers and be beating people. That I can't get into that sort of thing. So we're on Investigation Discovery. Yes, investigationdiscovery.com. The logo in fact hangs up in the far left corner. You can see it right here. Live now is See No Evil. Deadly deception. Oh, by the way, leave me dear viewer, leave me a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think and feel about this sort of story, as in the losers. They must be called out. I could sit on camera all day and call some losers out, because see, famous people, Janet Jackson, Oprah Winfrey, yes, my two hearts, right, and all the rest, they can say stuff to a point and yet not all the way and calling losers out, because a Janet or a Oprah has to word and pronounce things a certain way, as in there's public relation tactic where if you say stuff the way that I say it, just say loser, blunt, is to say there's going to be very heartbroken people that would in fact run away from a Oprah or a Janet, because not everybody knows how to take the way that I talk, which is why they talk much more softer with a profound message instead of talking the way that I talk, blunt. Because see, some people will say, well, Oprah or Janet just said loser, so maybe she's talking about me, and then they'll walk away, right? But to keep those and continue to gain those type of followers is to put a filter on your mouth and not talk straight through the way that I do. Me, I choose not to care. I could be a famous person, have everything, and still be talking this way and not care. Because if a loser in society is out there and they're hurting people, harming people, and killing people, as I say, well, somebody has to stand up for those people that are being harmed and killed. Look at the baby right there that's crying. That baby that's crying right there. There's pain and sadness and suffering, and yet somebody has to make amends with even the child or somebody somewhere, even the burn victim, by somebody being aggressive in the mouth and standing up and speaking and saying. That's just how it works on my end. I'm not going to sit anywhere and let no loser just walk past and be burning no babies or burning no grown. That ain't never going to work. That's sad, sorry, and loser. And that's not saying, because see, look, I ain't famous or never will I ever be, right? But once again, a Janet or a Oprah or whoever else, anybody, I'm using them because they're my two favorites. The business model is why I'm saying them, right? But I'm saying anybody else outside of them, might in fact need to be more outspoken, because see, we're losing real people in life when you're not outspoken and aggressive and saying this needs to be stopped. This is not gonna continue on of burn victims by somebody petty loser that think they can do something on the game of just coming and burning up somebody and walking away. No, maybe that person that burned that woman in fact might need to be taken to their grave pretty quickly by being set on fire and trashed in the bag with that. That's my mindset, isn't that's my true, real, authentic mindset. How I feel and how I'm going to say stuff. Whoever don't like it don't need to be surrounded by me, because babies like that and all the rest are losing their mothers and their fathers and possibly grandparents by the way that these criminals are doing stuff in society. It's a hurtful thing is what I'm trying to say. So we're on investigationdiscovery.com. We in fact are, and I said that already, and I'm repeating again. Unlocked episodes, you can in fact get a audio preview by clicking the play button. That's what that's there for. You can add to watch later by clicking the plus sign. Your Worst Nightmare, season 5, episode 2. There's people in society that need to be a little bit less soft-spoken and more forward and direct and blunt. Because if we didn't have lawmakers, despite the law seeming sometimes being crooked or whatever, right? If we didn't have people that was more forward and direct, people would be killing people all off all time of the day and leaving children behind to suffer and to mess with that. That's a no-go. I ain't never liked stuff like that. On last night, the padlock the padlock. This is a fact exclusive to gain access. Is to click and you're going to provide your subscriber or provider to gain access with that. Whoever you're subscribed to, right? Add to watch later, same thing. It helps to speak up when you feel that somebody's especially when people have young children and stuff like that. Elderly people, I'm like that with elderly people as well. Unlock series. You can in fact come back on here and go through this once again. As I stated, it's investigationdiscovery.com. There's John Walsh. That's my dude. May his son Adam rest in peace with that sort of thing. That was the worst too. What grown man or woman chops off a child's head with that and leave the parents to grieve? Shows insane mindset mentality with no consideration of even the child's feelings. There's a tip line. Have a tip. Help in the pursuit. If you have any information on a case featured on the show, please call 1-833-3-PURSUE or fill out. You can in fact fill that out. Submit it here. Investigation Discovery is always open for ideas. There's many TV shows because to run out of stuff, as I say, people are going to always be needed, right? Crime Feed News. To gain access to the Crime Feed, crimefeed.com is a click within here, and you would in fact be directed on the outside to crimefeed.com. To receive a newsletter is to scroll down the way that I did where it says sign up for Investigation Discovery newsletter. Type your email address in, click next, and you would in fact receive a newsletter. Yeah, the mindset, that's why society is in failure, because not everybody's gonna, my thing is do stuff to a percentage. If you don't want to do stuff all the way, then at least look out for other people to a percentage instead of looking out for yourself all day. You can't make a come up. Well, I was going to say come out. You can't make a come up in life or anything else if you don't consider other people in the right way. As in, when you have a connection with that other person, they have a connection with you. There's a sharing of qualities, like-minded aspect with that, instead of just using people. People that just use people can never make it in life, because there's economics and microeconomics with that sort of thing. Ask any world trade leader or organization about that sort of thing. That's a no-go, because it's all fair trading with that. A system has to always be fed and matched with that. So leave me a comment, dear viewer, in the comment section, and I will be back. I'm going to make the next video. Tell me what you feel. Tell me how your day is and all the rest. I'll respond back. I'm gone.